The market looks absolutely terrible right now. Projects are shutting down one after another, tokens are collapsing, and altcoins, after that flash crash, are basically sliding down the wall. And I'm sure you know that feeling when you open your portfolio and it just hurts to look. But today, no rose-colored glasses. Let's talk about the harsh truth. Why some altcoins will never recover, which projects are actually on the brink, and how to tell who will survive and who's just counting their final days. Before we start, this is not financial advice. Everything I share is my personal view and analysis. Use it as one more perspective, not as a call to action. After that flash crash, the market was basically unplugged. Capital fled crypto, funds started closing positions, and retail investors sat in fear, waiting for things to get worse. Liquidity is evaporating, trading volumes are falling, altcoins are dropping without a bounce, and even large projects are struggling to breathe. What looked stable just a few months ago is now collapsing before our eyes. The loudest example, Kadena. Once one of the most ambitious Layer 1 projects, with a peak valuation of over $4 billion in 2021. It had big investors, an active team, and a promising ecosystem. But just days ago, Kadena officially announced it's shutting down operations. The official reason, unfavorable market conditions. In reality, the money simply ran out. The token dropped over 70% after the announcement. Liquidity drained from pools, exchanges began delisting it, and that's it, game over. But Kadena isn't an exception. It's a symptom of a systemic disease. As PA News Lab notes, the crypto industry has entered an elimination phase. There are now over 100 Layer 2s and 200 plus separate blockchains, and most of them have fewer than 2,000 daily active users. They're all fighting for the same liquidity, capital, and attention. Supply is huge, demand is limited. Eventually, someone just doesn't make it. Most of these projects bet on technology, not product. New architecture, faster speeds, better scalability, all sounded great, but no one asked the main question, who actually needs this? Without users and product market fit, innovation is just a half-finished story. And that story is repeating right now across dozens of projects. Add to that the fact that the market itself has changed. With Ethereum's Denkin upgrade and the rise of L2 ecosystems, base layers like Ethereum have become the true center. There's no longer much sense in launching another L1 when you can build on Ethereum, cheaper, safer, and with a built-in user base and liquidity. As a result, new blockchains are left without demand, without integrations, and without capital. And the main problem, liquidity. Any project that doesn't generate revenue, attract TVL, or maintain a sustainable economy is doomed. In 2020 to 2021, projects survived on grants, venture capital, and token unlocks. But now, funding has dried up, fees are tiny, and activity is falling. What's left? Selling tokens or shutting down? That's exactly what we're seeing. Kadena has become a skeleton network, maintained only by miners, while the ecosystem stands still. It's a mirror of the entire industry. Once the money stops flowing, most protocols reveal they never had a business model. Right now, dozens of old L1s, TVL-less DeFi protocols, AI tokens without products, inactive DAOs, and dead NFT projects are hanging by a thread. We're entering a phase of natural selection. Only those with a real product, active community, revenue, and purpose will survive. That's why it's more important than ever not to trust big names, but to check the data yourself. Is the GitHub active? Are there users? Are transactions, TVL, and revenues growing? If not, you're not looking at an investment, you're looking at a ticking time bomb. Up next, I'll show you how to check these metrics yourself to see if your alt has any real chance to survive this winter. But before that, hit like and subscribe, because next we'll break down the exact metrics and real examples that could save your portfolio. Now let's move from theory to practice. Real indicators that help you tell a living project from one that's about to disappear from CoinMarketCap. Because in a bear market, it's the numbers, not the narratives, that show who's actually building and who's just surviving on the hype of the previous cycle. Let's start with liquidity and activity. If you see a market cap in the hundreds of millions but a TVL barely hitting $10 to $20 million, that's a red flag. A healthy project should have a TVL that's at least 20 to 25% of its market cap. For clarity, let's look at a project that has a solid market cap and a strong cap to TVL ratio. Everyone knows Hyperliquid, a top platform for decentralized trading. At the time of recording, its market cap sits around $13.5 billion, while its TVL exceeds $4.7 billion, and that's just on the decentralized exchange itself. On top of that, the Hyperliquid Layer 1 blockchain, tied to the same token and team, also boasts impressive TVL figures. Altogether, that's nearly 45% of its market cap, which is a strong green flag. It shows that users trust the project and that the token has real utility, not just speculative value. Next, revenue. It's the best indicator of whether anyone is actually paying for the product. On Token Terminal or CryptoFees.info, you can see that Uniswap generates around $2 to $3 million in daily fees without subsidies or incentives, purely because people find it useful. Compare that to GMX, which earns about 7 to 8 times less in trading fees. It's easy to see which project has more resources for growth and innovation. Revenue reflects real business on-chain. If a protocol's income relies only on inflationary rewards or incentives, it's not self-sustaining. Those models live only as long as emissions last. Third, token economics. It's not just about how many tokens are in circulation, but what's coming next. On CryptoRank, you can check unlock schedules, and if 20 to 30% of supply is about to hit the market next month, that's almost guaranteed selling pressure. For example, Ondo has a transparent vesting model. The unlock timeline is clear, and the token itself is used to access network resources, meaning it has an actual use case, not just a speculative role. Fourth, developer activity. Go to Santiment's developer activity dashboard or directly to GitHub and see if there's movement. Fewer than 50 commits per month? The project's asleep. Leading projects like Ethereum, Polkadot, Optimism, and Cosmos consistently show thousands of updates, active patches, and open source work. Signs of genuine ongoing development, not just Twitter hype. To sum up, these simple metrics can save you a lot of money in this stage of the market. TVL and active users, real revenue/fees, emission and token unlocks, developer activity, GitHub, and exchange liquidity. Go through this checklist for every altcoin you hold. Look at it critically and ask yourself honestly, does it meet these standards? If not, as hard as it may be emotionally, consider reducing its weight in your portfolio or replacing it with a stronger asset. A cold head right now is the best risk management you can have. Thanks for watching, friends. Make sure to like and subscribe, drop a comment below, and remember, this video is not financial advice, just my personal view on the market.